Here we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Bob Patel with Century 21 Joe Link. And of course, you guys know Mitz, my
Morning.
counterpart. He's always trying to hide in the back, but we're gonna make sure he doesn't do that when we're at Elevate. So, and super excited that they just announced that the 121 is coming back next year in April at the Bellagio. So hopefully I will get a chance, or both of us will get a chance to go and meet you guys there too. So today's training is going to be a spin-off from last week's training because we did a training on ICA, building your ideal client avatar, and basically to know who your perfect client is so you can create content that actually targets that customer. And last year I forgot to record. Sorry about that. So we're going to go back, but I'm going to add some few other things. And then working with Mitz and myself, I created a GPT machine, and I'm going to explain to you what a GPT machine is in chat. That's basically your AI assistant is a GPT machine. So you create them individually. So I created one to help you figure out who your ideal client avatar is. And we're going to get to that near the end. So let me get right to the slides and start sharing. And we are recording, right? Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. So here we go. We are talking about how to communicate with your customer. We did this last week, so I'm going to briefly go over these slides because it's going to make sense, and especially to those that didn't attend. The idea is to be able to have some clarity so you can go to a conversion. So basically, we're going to go through different stages on how to figure out who your ideal client avatar is. Who is your ideal customer? Because a lot of you, I know that you do marketing, you put up a Google post, a Facebook post, Instagram post, but it's a generic post that you put up, but it's not targeting your ideal customer. So we're going to go through the emotion part, the content part, and how do you convert your leads. So, like we talked about last week, you know who your customer is, right? So let's say you're looking at doing an ad for a male that's born in 1948, raised in the United Kingdom, was married twice, lives in a castle, wealthy and famous. So some people would say, hey, this is my ideal customer. If you're targeting that particular demographic and that typical finance, this gentleman, the King of England, is male, born in 48, raised in the UK, married twice, lives in a castle, wealthy, famous. But what you don't realize is this gentleman, Ozzy, is also fits that demographic. He's also a male born in 48, raised in the UK, married twice, lives in a castle, wealthy and famous. But if you're doing an ad, if you're doing social media or whatever you're doing, content, email, which one of these two are you targeting? Because this is a generic ICA, just a generic profile. It doesn't boil down to other factors that we're going to cover. Same thing if you know your customers, if we're talking about a female that's a mother who's in her 40s, who's wealthy, philanthropic, high profile marriage, and a fashion icon. Well, you could say this lady, Kate Middleton, fits that profile to a T. But you could also say the opposite on the other spectrum. They are both of these ladies fit the same profile. But we don't know if, let's say, Angelica just got on. Thank you, Angelica. If Angelica is doing an ad on social media, she's trying to target, let's say, Kate Middleton, but her ads are going towards Kim. It's not going to work. Her ads are not going to be very effective because you're not ideally targeting the right person. So what we have to look at is when we're trying to do ads or trying to use AI to come up with a persona or an ideal client avatar, we got to look at demographics. Those are the surface. That's what we all look at. Oh, first time home buyer, they're 35 to 45 Hispanic male. And that's where most people stop. When they do an ad, they're just trying to target generic because that's all they know, or that's all the homework they've done. But what they're not doing is going into the psychographics and says, okay, my ideal customer, what are their values and what are their beliefs? Excuse me real quick. Oh, I'm gonna close my door before somebody decides they're gonna walk in and stand at the door and just look at me funny. Okay, so we have to look at for your ideal customers, there's psychographics that says, okay, I have an ideal customer. These are the values, beliefs. And then we have to look at, which nobody ever dwells into when they're trying to do marketing, is on my ideal customer or in my friend, plus when I'm putting the funnel together, what are the emotional drivers? What does my ideal customer, what are their fears? And what are their identity tensions? What are the issues are they having? So most marketers, when they're doing marketing, they stop at the top. And that's what most realtors do. That's all hey, here's the demographic for my ideal customer. Let me create an ad and boom. And you post because you just want to put out content. But at the same time, you don't know if it's hitting because we're not hitting the bottom two sections. We're not hitting their values and beliefs and triggers. So if we go forward in an ideal world, your ideal client avatar, which is also known as a buyer persona or a customer avatar, is basically you're doing a fictitious person that plays the role of your ideal customer. That's what you do in AI. It says, hey, this is my ICA. Now create me content because you've given it everything your ICA is, who they are, what they believe, what their fears are, wants, their wants and desires, aspirations, goals, everything. Okay. So what it is, it's a detailed, semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer. It is work, and I'm going to teach you how to break it down. It's a key element to any marketing strategy that you understand, helping you understand your perfect target audience at a deeper level. And trust me, it'll work. So, what you learn, what we're going to go over today is clarifying who your ICA is, figuring out the emotional triggers, figuring out the content topics that's relevant to them and that'll like, oh, so if they're scrolling social media and they see a post and they're like, oh, you created a post that hits an emotional trigger, they're gonna stop the scrolling because boom, they're like, whoa, hold on, let me read this because you just hit a trigger point. And then figure out what are the objections and let's just remove some of the objection, remove the barriers to the objections, okay? So ICA profile, what is a profile? Most of you go to age, gender, industry, income, and location. That's it. I want to create something for a first-time home buyer that's Spanish, that probably has a certain income, lives in Fresno County. That is where most of you will stop. But we need to focus on what keeps them up at night. What are their core fears? Because those are going to become emotional triggers when you create ads. Okay, what success looks like to them. What is their desired outcome? So you have to know to be able to properly communicate to these people is what is their ideal outcome or their desired outcome and what they avoid and why. What are their fear triggers? Interest rates too high, can I afford it? All of these different fears that they have. A lot of times you guys are working with buyers and half the time they don't show up or they cancel an appointment because they're stressed out and they have fears. The problem is none of us I do, but none of you have ever asked them, hey, so let me ask you something. What are you afraid of? We don't. We don't ask that because we're too busy trying to figure out the line one and see if we can find a house and put them into a transaction. But we don't get to know the rest of them, okay? And how your offer impacts them. Okay, so we're going to focus on customer behaviors. And let me talk about why it matters. You're not just identifying an ideal client, you're stepping into their story. So you got to figure out if I have a client and if this particular client is like 80% of all my clients, then what you got to do is step into their shoes. If you only deal with first-time home buyers, they're Spanish, blah, 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 step into their shoes. Then you'll be able to better communicate to them because you're like, I understand you. Trust me, I know what you're going through. I understand your decision making. I understand your buying process. I understand your trust connections. I understand you, so you can create a better marketing. So what you have to do is learn how they think, shop, and act. So if you want to take time, and we're gonna, like I said, I built a GPT which will break all this down. So hopefully that'll make it a lot easier for you, because some of you, I may lose you and you may have, lazy eyes going all over the place, but trust me, it'll make sense. So customer behavior profile, we got to go into their values and motivation. What are their values? What motivates them? What are their loyalty traits and decision making? Because if they're not loyal, they're going to jump ship on you unless you have a buyer agreement. And hey, if they don't have a proper decision making, they're going to be wishy-washy all day long. Well, I don't know. The flows are not right. This is not right. Or I don't know, but I can't make it. It's like excuses after excuses. Then you got to figure out, hey, what's your preferred communication style? So if I was talking to, let's say, Mitch, say, hey, Mitch, you know what? We're gonna go on this journey with you. I got a quick question. How would you like me to communicate with you? Would you like me to send you an email? Do you apply to them promptly? Would you like me to call you or text you? What works for you so I know how to better communicate? And I am not just assuming that I'm going to start sending you a whole bunch of text messages and I'm like, how come Mitch never replies back? Maybe he just doesn't like texting. Maybe I should have asked him to say, hey, how would you like me to communicate to you? So that's if you like a phone call, I might call you 2, 3 times in a day. If that is okay, then perfect. I will call you and not even bother texting you. And you find out from the customer, because you got to understand who your customer is. Okay. Loyalty, values, emotional triggers, preferred emotional drivers behind how they choose. So you got to figure out whether, if it's a buying a house, whatever they're doing, what triggers emotion wise is going to drive them to choose you as a brand, especially if you're going after a seller. Okay. So think about this. When you do ads, you got to think about this. If you're talking about time freedom, let's say time freedom, the ad on the right is a poor version. It says streamline marketing and boost productivity. Well, that is not going to hit an emotional trigger. Like, oh, okay. The left one says you didn't start a business to work 24/7. Like, huh, I didn't start a business to work 24/7. The left one will hit a trigger over the right one. So if you're doing the ads like the one on the right, trying to make it all fluffy, it is not going to hit home to anybody. Okay. So you want to make sure that you do the ads the way they're supposed to. So what is holding your customers back? So I know some of you have come on. So just want to explain, once we get through this training, there's a GPT machine that I built that I'm going to share with all of you, and I want you guys to try it out because it's going to actually build your ideal client avatar. So hang tight. I just got to go through these slides. So what you have to do is figure out what's holding them back. What is holding your customer back from making a decision? Is it pain points? Are there pain points? We don't know because we don't never ask. What do we don't ask the customers about their pain points. What are the exact frustrations, doubts, and fears that they express? If they are expressing, are you asking? Say, hey, I know you're concerned, or I know you're worried financially, or what is it that's making you hesitant? Because I understand you're paying $2,000 a month rent. I get you into a house, you're going to be spending about the same amount, but now you're going to be owning it. Let's say that's the pricing is equivalent. What's holding you back? What are you afraid of? Do we ever ask our customers that? No, we don't. Real phrases they actually use, figure it out. So look, if we're talking about, let's say, weight loss, and this is from prior training, the one on the right, transform your body with our proven method. That's not going to hit a trigger point for me. Everybody has a proven method. I've seen it all over the freaking place. They got hundreds of reviews, and most of them because they're influencers, yeah, or they got a free package, they got a free drink. Please leave us a review. If you go to Home Depot, you'll see the same thing, bro. Ooh. Now on the left, you're not lazy. You've just been given the wrong plan. That might catch my attention if I'm trying to lose weight. Like, huh? I never thought about it. Maybe I had the wrong plan. Maybe I was given the wrong plan. Maybe it's just not me. So watch how you do your ads. Now, what they deeply want. What is your client deeply want? What are their goals? And what are their dreams? Okay, so you got to know in their voice, what are their goals and dreams? So if pain stops the scroll, dreams hold their attention. So you got to think about this. If if the pain points are gonna stop the scrolling and you can get their attention on something that you wrote, then their dream will hold your attention. Why are they doing this? Why are you buying a house? Do we ask the customers, why are you buying a house? Why are you moving? Let's get the who they're doing it for. So it does seem like you're looking to downsize. Is this for yourself or for your family? Or if you're looking to upsize or you're moving neighborhoods, so I can get a better idea if it's just something that you want. Is this something to satisfy the whole family, or you're moving because you need to move closer to other family members that are near you, so I can better help you. I understand what you're going to potentially might be going through, what they imagine life could look like. So you have to figure out, says, okay, I know it's a lot. You have to figure out, says, if we can get this to happen, how would it change your life? How would it make a difference? So you better understand your customer. But trust me, if you go through some of these exercises, you're going to have a client for life, because they're going to understand that you took the time to get to know them instead of I'm just another customer. I'm going to close a transaction and I'm never going to hear from my realtor again. So think about parenting. Right hand says, unlock your potential. Synapse. I have no idea what that is. Poor. Boost productivity with that time system. That is not going to get me to stop scrolling. I'm going to look at that and like, oh my God, another ad, another ad. The left one might get my attention if I'm looking, if I'm a parent and says you shouldn't have to choose between career and kids. All depends on how you're phrasing it. It says, wow, you know what? That's right. I shouldn't have to choose. The one on the right makes no sense to me for time management. What will stop their scroll? Content topics. Pain that'll turn into a promise. If somebody's scrolling on social media, you're right advertising content. You got to catch their attention because everybody's posting on social media. If that's where you're trying to target them, they just sold, just listed, just this, got an open house, but they're not using the right trigger points, call to action. Okay, so generate topics that speak directly to what they're struggling with. It'll stop them from scrolling. Okay, if they're struggling with the high interest rates, create the topic on the high interest rates. If they whatever they're struggling with, create content based on that. It'll stop them, get their attention. They'll stop scrolling, says, oh, and they'll see that post. If it doesn't get their attention, they're just like this. They're gonna keep going. Somebody might like it, like, oh, that's cute. Like, it's not gonna help you. Show them that there's a better outcome. So if they don't see that, hey, by making this decision that you're going to make, by choosing me to help you on your journey, this is what is possible. I understand what you're going through. I understand what your desired outcome is. I understand what your concerns and fears are. I'm going to get through these together. Okay, that's how you got to communicate. So you got to turn pain and promise into content. How do you turn that into content? So content that converts starts with content that connects and builds trust. Moving in the world with AI, everything is going to change. Everything's already changing, and we're going to cover that in a little bit. And you guys will be flabbergasted how everything is really changing. So everybody that is deciding to be in marketing or in sales needs to learn how to adapt. You don't have a choice, because you know what? If you're not going to do it, your competition's going to do it, and they're just going to beat you. Okay, dreams, aspirations, or the end results become the promise. That's your dream. Trust, providing value strengthens your standing with your audience. They got to trust you. Okay, pain points, call out their struggles and challenges. These are your opening hooks. When you do marketing, their pain point is their hook to catch them to stop strolling, like, oh. And then you turn dreams and trust. So look at these two ads real quick. On the right, the hook says unlock, excuse me. On the right, the poor one, the hook is unlock cutting edge AI tools today. Value is transform your business with the latest trends. Okay. The one on the left, the good one says overwhelmed by AI, you're not alone. Like, whoo, that would make me stop. The one on the right wouldn't make me stop. I get that ad all day long. I get ads all day long about how many thousands of AI tools are coming out every day. I'm like, oh, not another one. But overwhelmed, like, yes, that'll get somebody to stop scrolling. And it says save 10 hours a week, no tech skills required. That would definitely get my attention over the one on the right. Okay. All depends on how you do it. Now, what makes them say yes? You have to learn to handle their objections. So Four common objections is either going to be money, effort, time, or sacrifice. So money is it worth it? Effort, will this be too hard? And that could be in any business. Time, I don't have time to do this. I hear that a lot. Sacrifice, what will I have to give up? Okay, so use short form to build trust and lower resistance. So objection handling with AI content example, hook is feeling behind in the AI race, save 10 hours a week without any tech skills. If you break it down, it says, hey, take 15 minutes to set up, money, use the tools you already have, effort, no tech experience needed, sacrifice, keep your voice, just amplify it. Be like, huh, I can do that if you keep it simple. Okay. So what makes them click? Let's go to the foundation ad copy. So let's go to copy. If you're going to do an ad copy, see what the one on the right for Instagram says NewsScribe Challenge Training. The one on the left says, how would you like to build your own Verity GPT that does exactly what you want it to do, and I will show you how to do it in 6 minutes. You're like, can you please share that link in 6 minutes? Okay. The same thing, hook and value-driven message. You got to have a hook. So your expertise deserves to be seen and sold. Let AI help you launch your course. Okay. Left one, AI can work 24/7. So why are you still doing everything manually? All depends on how you decide to phrase. So the ripple effect of a clear, concise, ideal client avatar, which is your fake, fictitious person, if you get it wrong, you waste time convincing the wrong people. If you're going to do an ad, you're going to post, but it's going to the wrong people. But if you get it right, you're going to feel like you read their mind. So you got to know their emotional triggers. So in marketing, there's four types of marketing. Analytical. So is it data driven? Is it aspirational? Is it visionary? Success driven? Is it actionable? Step by step, easy to follow? Or is it anthropological, meaning is it meaningful, culture driven? So this is what it is. If it's analytical, you're gonna says, okay, struggling to lose post baby weight. Studies show that 20-minute workout combined with meal planning improves success by 65%. Let's break down the strategy. If it's aspirational, imagine feeling confident in your body again, even after kids. I won't go on the rest. Actionable. Do you want to lose weight but don't have time? Here are 3 simple steps. If it's anthropological, throughout history, moms have struggled with a balance of family and self-care. All depends on how you're going to do it. How are you gonna target it for analytical individuals, aspirational, actionable individuals, or anthropological? Okay. And I know it's a little hard, but bear with me. We will get to the fun part in just a second. Has anybody ever heard of the 4-part right framework in AI? Most likely zero. So AI, ChatGPT, we're going to cover that. It has a 4-part framework. Remember this. The right framework is a 4-part prompt building. Remember we talked about prompts. You create a set of instructions. The 4-part prompt building strategy that helps you craft effective, actionable prompts, especially useful when working with AI. 4-part. 1, role. Simple. Tell AI who it should act as. Number 1. This sets context and tone. So it gives what it does, it gives the AI a clear persona. It says, oh, you want me to be a Honda mechanic. You want me to be a sous chef. You want me to act like a legal attorney. You want me to act like a paralegal. You want me to act like a divorce attorney in California. It will play that role for everything that you ask it to do after. So you got to give it a role instead of saying, create me a social media post. No, 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 no. Give it a role. Says, hey, I want you to act like a Century 21 broker or a Century 21 top real estate agent. Whatever you want, you give it a role, okay? So it knows how to act. Act as a real estate content strategist. So that's one. So that's step one you got to do. Then you got to give it input, or I provide the necessary background information. Says, hey, this includes goals, audience, format, specific data. What should it consider? For example, you're creating a blog post for first-time home buyers in California. So act as a real estate content strategist. You're creating a blog post for first-time home buyers in California, RI. Now we're going to go to D, direction. You got to tell AI, clearly define what you want AI to do. Be specific about the output, the length, the tone, the structure, and the desired action. Example, write a 600-word blog post in a friendly tone with SEO optimized subheadings and a call to action. So this is what you're doing. So R, act as a real estate content strategist. You're creating a blog post for first-time home buyers in California. Write a 600-page blog post with friendly tone with SEO optimized subheadings and call to action. RID and now E, examples. So set the standard by giving a sample. This can include bullet point, tone, preference, what an actual example. So example would be write in a style similar to this paragraph. Insert it here, insert that paragraph, and keep the paragraph short, use active voice, and make it engaging. Then when it creates content, it has data to create the right content for you. Instead of I have this listing and you want a description and then you wonder why it's not working. So here's a full example of a well-structured prompt using Write. As a luxury real estate copywriter role, the luxury real estate copywriter role, you're helping Century Turner agents promote $1 million plus listings in Palm Beach County. Input, write a 200-character Instagram post with 5 emojis, 5 hashtags, and a call to action and a short property highlight. Direction, RID, follow this tone, polished but friendly, like this example. Live where the ocean meets elegance. Expectation. Hope I didn't lose anybody. But once you create a prompt, just copy it. Put it in Google Drive somewhere. So, hey, next time you need to do a post and you want chat to act like a luxury real estate copywriter for content, you just copy and paste that into chat, hit enter, and says, okay, now create me content based on this keyword or this title or whatever you want. But you gotta, when you create the prompt, save them, copy and save them somewhere until you get to refine them. Okay. So GPTs, what are GPTs? Most of you already have a Chat GPT account. But in the pro version, you can create your own miniature GPTs, and I'm going to show you what they are. So basically, they're pre-trained transformers. I know it doesn't sound very fancy, but customizable versions of Chat GPTs, basically that users can tailor to specific tasks by combining instructions, knowledge, capabilities. So basically, a GPT, if you have a paid version of chat, the GPTs become your AI assistant. You can create one for marketing, create one for social media, create one for listing announcement, create one for this, create one for your ideal client avatar. And then when you need content, any one of those machines will give you the content you want because you already pre-programmed it. That's why you save a lot of time, but you got to do the homework up front. So here are GPTs on the go assistant. So this GPT, and I'm going to share with you, don't worry. This GPT on the go assistant clear. So this is an ideal customer avatar. What we've been doing training on, this is this particular GPT. So don't worry, I'm going to share with you. So I don't want you to freak out. So if I take this GPT, and if any of you want the slides, just let me know. I'll just share them with you. Don't worry. Got nothing to hide. I am going to chat here. In your chat, you have this GPT will come up. Okay, I want you to understand. I went to the left side where it says GPTs, if you have a paid account, and I said create. So when you hit create, it says, okay, what do you want? I like to help you. You can use this part by having a chat with ChatGPT, and it'll help you create your GPT machine. You just start having the conversations. Hey, I'm not sure exactly how to do this, but this is what I'm looking for. And you go back and forth until it actually will have, with your conversations with it, will create your machine for you. But, or you can say, I want to configure it myself. I want to give it the name. I want to give it the instructions myself. I also want to give it upload files, maybe my bio, maybe my brokerage bio, maybe the history on Century 21 and what Century 21 is about. You're giving it knowledge so it can pull from all that information when it's creating content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the GP, this one. Let me see if it'll edit. So I am going to go to configure to show you the GPT that I sent to you in your chat that you have. You're welcome to use it. So I said, hey, here's the name. ICA Builder for Century 21 Agents. Description, you put in whatever you want. Your secret weapon to attracting more of your dream buyers and sellers. Great. So what I did is if you notice, here it is. Step one. Da, 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 da. Tell me about your welcome prompt. So welcome prompt, step one. So I told it, hey, step one, there's a welcome prompt. Like, okay, welcome to Century 2 and ICA Builder, your secret weapon to attract blah, 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 buyers, blah, blah, blah. And tell me about your business. Then we went to step two. After you gave it all that information, it's going to say, okay, let's bring this person to life. How do they shop for home or brokerage? What do they value when making a big decision? Then you're going to get information. Then I went through, after you give it all that information, and we're going to go through it. You're going to be a freaking amazed. Then we're going to have ChatGPT ask for their pain points. What are their pain points? What is the client or the agent at night? Because this GPT was also designed for a broker for recruiting. That's why it's going to ask you, which you'll see. What makes them nervous? Okay. Then is it fear, exact, and then goals. Now let's flip it. What does your ideal customer agent really want from life, their home, or their business? So we're trying to figure out our ideal customer. So let's say a brokerage uses this and says, huh, I'm going to do this for recruiting because I need to recruit, but I need to understand the certain things. Okay, so there's steps in here all the way down to ad copy. When you get to that point, it is going to create ad copies based on your ideal customer. You'll be amazed. So we are going to start here. Hey, Shanna, you want to get off chat and then give me some input? Don't be shy.
Give you some input on like what I would want for the chat GPT to do.
Nope, we're going to follow along right here. Pretend you're doing it. Okay, are you focused on buyers, sellers, or agent recruiting?
Uh,
Let's say buyers or sellers, just to satisfy everybody else.
sellers,
Which one? Both?
sellers. Yeah.
Buyers and sellers? Two, what kind of real estate do you specialize in?
Residential.
Do you do first-time home buyers and maybe move-up sellers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who is your ideal client? Oh, no, we already did that. Residential, that one. And where is your market territory?
San Antonio.
Okay, we're going to give it some feedback. So now it's starting to create a profile. So it's asking you, ideal customer, move-up buyer, looking to sell current home to upgrade. So now it's coming through some of this. So it says, hey, demographics, would they be about 35 to 50? Dual income, likely have kids at school, already have a starter home, potentially valued around that price point, and then you're trying to target a higher. Would that sound about right? I
Yeah.
yes, okay. Psychographics, they're stable, they have home equity, they're looking for lifestyle upgrades, they're conscious but practical, want more space, better schools. Their fears might be, what if they could sell? What if I can't sell fast enough to buy the home I really want? What if I get stuck with two mortgages, feel overwhelmed with timing both transactions, and worry about interest rates, lack of inventory, and pricing? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Goals, upgrade lifestyle with a smart equity move, of course, bigger yard, office space, game room, sell for top dollar, but buy without overpaying, seamless, stress-free move for their family. Does that sound about right? Hey, anything you need to change? So what it
Yeah.
says here, anything feel off to you, or should I map on how this move up actually shops things? So I'm gonna says move on. So go forward. So now it's gonna go to the next part. Okay, so let's bring this move up seller to life. What are their buying and selling behavior? Do they check online listings nightly? Do they follow local neighborhood news, neighborhood pages, hesitate to list until they've seen dream upgrades, prefer agents who offer staging tips, pricing strategies, interest in bridge loans, buy before you sell options potentially?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Value, wants certainty, clarity, especially in timing, seeks competitive edge when buying, responds well to agents who are strategic, calm, and resourceful. Very good to know. Trust professionals who educate and guide. Does that sound about right? Okay, Mitch is nodding his head, yes. Okay, communication, they text first, then quick calls. That's probably about right. Wants data, but explained simple. Appreciates visuals and likes content that feels smart and family focused. Does that sound about right? Okay. Yes, that does. Okay, now we're going to go to the next step. Now let's dig into upgrade Ulysses. They're going to call him Ulysses up at night. Pain points. So, in their words, what if I sell and can't find something better in time? So now it's going to go. So what happens is, as we go through these steps, you tell it in their words, please take out line 3 and replace it with this. Okay. So are they making decision, mistake, upgrading in the market? How do I even start the process without getting stuck? Will I lose money if I wait? That's in their words. Let's say buyer, seller specific, fears of being homeless between closing, confusing by conflicting advice, sell first, buy first, overwhelmed by the market timing, juggling family. And that's where these are the fears. Like, hey, I understand you're going to have concerns because we're going to have to list your home. We're going to have to put in an offer. I understand. There's going to be some juggling. And yes, there's going to be some chaos and it may be stressful. We don't know yet. But I got you. This is where you got to come in and says, hey, I got you. Unsure how to use equity smartly without blowing the budget and frustrated by outdated homes or overpriced upgrades on the market. Does that sound right or should we move on? Is everything sound good?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's say it sounds good. If it doesn't, we just tell it, change this out, and it'll change it out. So we're going to tell it to move on, and it's going to go, awesome. Let's flip the script. Let's go into their goals. Okay. So this really doesn't take that much time, but if you really think of it, you're going to go into a psychographic of your ideal customer. And especially useful if some of you are trying to get into a luxury home or upscale instead of just your normal home buyers. But you're trying to get into middle class, upper class, there is a specific demographic. But if you can target that specific, so look, we want a place that finally feels like home, not just fits us. This next move should be where we stay, and we want space to entertain. Sounds about right. Lifestyle, dreaming of a larger home, wants to move into a better school district, neighborhood, kids, everybody does. Crave stress-free transition, ideal timing, confident decision, and desires more room for growing kids. Could take multi-generational living also. They could have a loved one. If you ask the question, so I do understand that you want your parents to come with you. So we're going to look for a home that's they're going to be multi-generational living. So we got to look at the spacing. You got to be cognizant of here that professional, emotional ambitions see this upgrade as a reflection of success or want to feel that they made a smart investment, hoping to build long-term equity. Feel on point, or is there anything missing? Either one, Mitz, Shanna, anything missing or right on point?
think it's good.
I think it's on.
Okay, so perfect. Now let's turn their pain dreams into content gold. Each topic is designed to build trust, show your expertise, and spark emotion. Trust building. How to buy and sell at the same time without losing sleep. See, I don't think any of you have created a post that the heading said how to buy and sell at the same time without losing sleep. You're hitting a trigger, losing sleep, like, oh my God. Okay, you read my mind. 3 ways to use your equity to level up without overpaying. What's your home actually worth in today's market? Okay, fine. The real math behind selling first and buying. If you're going to do it educational. What's the move up buyers need to know about contingent offers in San Antonio? So if you're looking for move up buyers, this would be a perfect heading to put in, and then you give it a little bit of content. Do you need a bigger home or just a bigger layout? Which one is it? Because we're posting smart to get to the right customer. If it's heartfelt, from starter to forever, real stories of Centennial families who made the jump. Why this next home could be your last big move or the peace of mind move, planning a seamless sale and upgrade. But if it's a lead magnet idea, the move up seller's playbook, 6 steps to make it happen. Or free move up market snapshot, what your home activity is worth today. Want these bold, heartfelt, and more educational in tone or ready for object busting copy next? Ooh, object busting copy next. Okay, we're gonna go next. So here we
Anytime
go.
they simplify a Bob and they say
Hey,
that steps or 2 steps, I'll always click on it.
but look, if you took the time to go through this, look what the content it's giving you. Objections, it's not the right time. What's the hook? Waiting for the perfect time could cost you the perfect home. What's the value? Expert guidance to help you win both ends of the deal. Message, market shifts, don't wait. But smart strategies do. I help move up buyers buy with confidence and sell for top dollars no matter the condition. That is right on point on an objection handling post that I don't think any agent would have been able to just whip it up and write it. Then if you do objection 2, what if I lose my overpay? Worried about overpaying? Your equity might be your best tool. Okay, your current home is worth more than a roof. It's leverage. So think about it. Objections, here we go. Another one is, what if I get stuck between 2 homes? There's a smarter way to move without you panic. Options like rent back, bridge loans, creative contingencies. I've helped a dozen families move, avoid the gap with flexibility, proven solutions, and I'll tailor one for your timeline. Okay, so want to rework any tone, dive deeper or specific. Are you ready to turn this into copy? Okay, who wants to see a copy ad? Ad copy? Anybody? Oh, Mitz is ready. Shanna's ready because she doesn't want to talk no more. So ad copy, we're gonna say ad copy. Here we go. Pick your focus. Okay, so let's turn one of these objections into an ad convert. Pick your focus. Is it going to be time, money, effort, or sacrifice? Then also, what tone do you want the ad? Do you want it bold, emotional, professional? Drop your picks and I'll make a killer ad. So Shanna, you first. What's your focus out of the 4?
Money, and I want it emotional.
Mitch, what would you want?
I like the sacrifice one. I'd like to see what it kicks out on that.
Sacrifice and bold, emotional, professional.
Professional, simple.
Okay. Let's see what it gives us. Ad copy. Emotional, money, concern, tone. The hook is, what if your dream home is closer than you think and your current home is a key to unlocking it? Okay.
That's cool.
Transformation. You built equity, stability in life you love, and now it's time to level up your next without regret. I'm sorry, level up with a regret. So the ad copy was said, they say now's the time to upgrade, but what if holding off is actually holding you back? With the right strategy, your current home can power the move to something better, more space, better school, than a kitchen and a kitchen you've always wanted. I help San Antonio families turn just browsing into just moved in using smart equity, custom pricing, and buy sell timing that fits your life, not the market. Message me, upgrade plan, and let's explore your next move. No pressure. That is genius. I don't think anybody on this call could have done that. Now,
No.
this is add copy for sacrifice, worried about without selling before you buy, or worse, juggling both at once. So there is a structured way to move without stress, and I'll guide you through it. Moving up doesn't have to mean that you have to move twice or rushing into a wrong home. As a San Antonio move up specialist, I walk clients through bridge loans, rent backs, timing strategies, and protect their finances and peace of mind. You deserve more space, better features, not more pressure. Let's map your personalized move up plan today. DM me, Smooth Move, to get started.
Nice.
Wow.
And it says, would you like another version or ready for a final ICA? So let's go final ICA and message summary. And here we go. This is your ideal client avatar. This is your ACA. We started from day one, from the beginning to now. This is your ideal ICA right here. Right there. You copy that into chat and you tell it what kind of content you want. It'll create it on this person, Ulysses. Because you've already given it its psychographics, its demographics, its top fears and objections, its big goals and dreams, and the message pillar, smart timing, expert use of equity, content type topics. It's already going to create it, objection busters, add copy angles. It has it all. So now what you do is you take that persona, copy it into chat, and says, now can you create me content for this particular subject line? And it'll create it for that ideal customer. Question. Shanna, did I blow you away?
Yes.
Yes. I
Yes.
just perfect. Perfect. Nailed it.
Mm.
And it actually didn't take that long. But it's a little bit of a homework. But ideally, those of you that are trying to get into a niche market, this is so important. You got to know who your clients are in a niche market. There is no such thing nowadays. I sell anything. Bullcrap, because your ads are going to the wrong people and they're scrolling, they're not paying attention. You have to have a niche market, whether it's a demographic between a certain age group, first-time home buyers, that is your niche market. Then you create this ICA on your niche market. Esperanza, she's Spanish speaking. She has Spanish clients. She's going to cater this to Spanish first-time home buyers potentially for the Fresno market. So then she's going to create content specifically for her customers. And hopefully that when she's posting it, it hits those trigger points and they'll contact her instead of trying to post something generic and it's going to everybody, but it's not sticking. That is where we got to get into a perfect ICA client that says, okay, the cool thing is you can take this information and says, okay, here it is. Now for my ICA, give me So I told it for my ideal ICA, give me the framework to add it into a GPT. So name, you're gonna create that. When we create a GPT, the purpose will be there, and then the prompt will be that. So you will take that into a GPT. You're gonna create a new one to configure name, description, and the instructions are gonna be, let me go back to not there. They went too far. Goes. Here. Name, purpose is the instruction. And here's the instructions. Right there. You put that into your own GPT and you can ask it to create whatever content you want and it'll create it for your ideal customer. We got a lot of chat questions.
I got him, Bob.
Slides. Can you share all the GPT content with us?
Yeah, I've been copy and pasting their emails for you.
Oh, they want the slides?
Yes.
What?
And
That's like $20. Just joking. Okay, hold on. Let me I am going to create it as a template. So if you need to modify it, feel free to. But at the end, because there's other things that I included, this was a GPT for the ideal customer avatar. Now there is this one. If you want to use a GPT to become your personal brand strategist, Shanna's gonna like this one, to help you become the go-to authority for your niche. So this GPT will help you become niche famous. Okay, so it's going to go through identifying your ideal audience, you're creating your content pillar, developing your signature framework, daily visibility system, step by step, how to grow influence, build trust, and position yourself in an expert market. That is what that GPT does. The third one, it's a long form, 4A. So what it's going to do is if you give it content that you're thinking about writing, it'll rewrite it 4 times. It'll rewrite it as an analytical, aspirational, actionable, anthropological. You give it the content, it'll rewrite it based on I need this for an analytical. I don't know how to rewrite it. Give it to this prompt, it'll rewrite it for an analytical. Really super cool. So 4A, made by this young lady right here. She's awesome. The fourth one is another one. This is another ideal client avatar. But this one, I kept it on this presentation because it's not specific to Century 21. Because I have a presentation due I'm doing on Thursday, so I need this buddy until I get done and I can remove it. But for you, it doesn't matter. You can decide which one you want to use. So what I'm going to do is, and then also there's something else that I added in here. No, I didn't. So you want all the slides? Okay, you sure? Template. Copy. And it will be on the YouTube channel too. Okay. I just put everything that was on the slides in the chat. So just click on it, and then when you save it, it'll be your own Canva, and then you can decide. Now, if you need help trying to explain it to your team, please let me know, because sometimes Mitz and I may have time. We can jump on a training call at your office. We don't have any problems doing that, and we can go over this if you want us to help you at your office. We're here to help everybody, because at the end of the day, if him and I can jump on at another brokerage and help them, then it helps us refine our training, because your agents may ask questions like, oh my God, I didn't think about that one. We're going to have to go back to the bulletin board for my agents because I have to cover those questions that they didn't ask. So it actually benefits us and my brokerage by helping your brokerages. So if you guys need help, just reach out. I've shared that over there and we're about done. Do we have any other questions? Because I know it was a mouthful.
I got a lot of requests for the slides. You got them up there, but I've got their email addresses if you want to send them later.
No, they can just click the link in the chat.
Okay, and I don't see anything else besides that.
Yeah, it's easier. Instead of me trying to copy all of those, just click the link in the chat and that'll become your Canva templates. I may just email them out to our company, company-wide.
Sounds good.
But if there's no other questions, we are going to end. If anybody has any suggestions, we're going to keep, especially for my brokerage and everybody out there, we're going to keep Mondays as a tech topic. And for my brokerage, Jordan Lang, Thursdays, we're going to switch soon to 21 Online Tools. But if anybody has any tech topics coming up, but one thing I do want to cover real quick while I got your attention, I'm so glad I did. This is your normal search. This is your Google search. Everybody's used to typing, what are they looking for? Local realtor in San Antonio, whatever you're asking for. Let's say, oh, And it's going to show you this. It's going to show you maps on Google, and it's going to show websites. So what's changing, if I go to google.com, if you notice this little button, if you haven't seen it, you better get used to it. This is called AI mode. If people are already starting to use it. So now look at how your results come.
Oh, wow.
There is no websites on page 1. 0. What it's doing is pulling from relevant websites content, because that's what AI does. Hey, I'm looking for content, so here it is. So it's going to go through doing this, but it also pulls that data from your Google listing. I've been harping about Google listings forever. We've done so many trainings. Google My Business is going to be so important. So if you guys are not taking care of your Google listing, if your brokerage that's not taking care of your Google listing, you need to take care of your Google listing. If you need to automate it, I would go to Page AI. That is the best tool you can do. For $99 a month. It is probably the best friend you're ever going to have to bump up your Google. And I'm going to put that link here at the end in the chat. So just be cognizant that the AI world is changing. You just got to learn to adapt. So if you're doing everything on your website, this clients still need to go to your website to find for homes. Great. But ramp up your Google My Business. Work on that one. Add your content, your pictures, whatever you got to do, ramp it up, because that's going to pull data onto AI search, not your website. Okay. Well, you guys have a great day. I think I'll probably put half of you to sleep, but it's okay. Thank you all for coming. And if you have any topics, Shanna, if you need help, reach out anytime. And you guys have an amazing week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job,
You're
Bob.
welcome.